I completely forgot how beautiful Canada can be. I gotta keep moving to keep warm, because I remember last time I was out here, I was on freaking sweater and shorts and almost had hypothermia. Well, that was like when I was 12 or 13, but I got this. Whoop. So this is fine.
I'm just serving it out.
Yep.
Yep.
This spoon. Grab it straight or not there straight. Quiet. How do I turn around? How do I turn around? It has been a minute since I posted anything, and I do apologize. 2025 was not nice to me. Not that it was a bad year, it's just to live such a high of 2023, 2024, traveling the world, and doing the things that I've done, to come back and try to understand what a normal year is, it took some adjusting, should I say. And honestly, I didn't like the direction it was going. 2025 absolutely humbled me, and it's one that I will not forget. Why is that? Despite having traveled so many places and racing in some amazing endurance races, coming back home and going back into my old industry gave me a realization that I can't mix these two lives. As hard as it is for me, I just am not able to. So what does that mean for 2026? I really don't know. I still have no clue what direction my 20s will be, and I only have a notion that I will continue to give it my all. Which kind of leads me as to how I want to shape the rest of my 20s. Making videos. I'm going to make a video every week, hopefully consistently for the next year, explaining everything. And when I say everything, I mean my entire 20s. And I'm going to break it up into 3 parts. How I lived my 20s, how I'm living my 20s, and how I'm going to live my 20s. And this is a small little trailer as to show you how I'm going to talk about these 3 very important parts of my 20s or my life. So let's start with a majority of it. I'm currently about to turn 28 in about 4 months or so. And that'll be 8 years of my 20s. And there's still so much to go unsaid. A good portion of it I've shown already. I've started filming when I went to Latin America, completed one of the hardest marathons in the world, and then went to Australia to do an Ironman 70.3. And in between, seen some beautiful and amazing places this world has to offer. A lot of it, actually, I haven't mentioned, is that this all sparked from my first travel, which is to China. I spent 6 months there learning martial arts, and that gave me the travel bug to see and explore everywhere else. And I think there's a lot to be said about that part of me. How I live my 20s is very important. There's a good 8 years behind me that I've learned so much from. And to put it all in a bottle, it's impossible. There's so much to review. I've started my 20s going to China, learning martial arts for 6 months. And then after that, that gave me the travel bug to really hone in and invest all my time and efforts to really allow this dream to flourish. And you've seen a majority of it. the last 2-3 years of travel was Latin America, Southeast Asia, and Australia, and attempting some insane races around the world. With that being said, there's a lot of it that hasn't been posted or talked about. I didn't post or do anything about the Ironman 70.3. There's not an official video of me doing it. There's a video of Ha Giang Loop. I loved that tour in Vietnam. So all these things are part of my past that I still haven't made any videos yet, and I will go back and review. Another portion is how I'm living my 20s, and that'll be primarily focused on this year. Now, for those who don't know, as I'm about to post this video, I'm currently in South Africa. Where and what I'm doing, I have no idea. I have a notion as to what I will be doing leading up to this point, but as of January 1st, 2026, I have no idea where I'll be in Africa. I know I'll be in Africa, but how I got there is part of how I'm living my 20s. An unchecked rule of just adventure and spontaneity. And I think it's so special that I have the opportunity to do so. I'd love to share that. And within the year, I will still return back to the beautiful country of Canada and attempt some insane races again. Hopefully, I'll just bottle up everything I've done before and do it all in 1 year. I will be attempting another marathon. I'll most likely finish. But that's just the start. That's training. I'm going to eventually do another Ironman 70.3 in Calgary. And then, to finish up the year, I'll try to find an ultra marathon of 100 kilometers. That's something I've never done. Something I don't know if it's possible. But if my track record shows, I will finish that race. And this is the scariest part for me to talk about because I genuinely have no idea how it's going to come to fruition, but I might as well say it, put it out there, because every time I've said I'd do something, I'd freaking do it. And if you've been paying attention to all my travels, I haven't been to Europe yet, and that's the last continent. Now, I might be inflating my own ego here, but to travel all 7 continents, I'm absolutely lucky and fortunate to have that opportunity and actually take it. Not everyone gets that opportunity, and I'm so grateful that I have had that chance to do so. But to choose Europe as your last continent is unique enough to say that I think I'm the only person in the world that's done that. At least to my knowledge. Like, I don't know too many people who've traveled all 7 continents. But to choose Europe as your last continent is insane. Most people go there on a family vacation or are born there, so it's like the first or second continent you go to easily. But have Europe as your last continent is insane. It's purposeful. And when I turn 29, that will be my 7th continent. When I turn 29, Europe will be my last continent, and that will be a special trip. Because on that continent, I want to do something that I still think is damn impossible, let alone doing it in a whole different continent. An Ironman. Not 70.3, a full Ironman. Essentially saying Ironman 70.3 is equivalent of saying a half marathon. The 70.3 is half. As you can imagine, half. Are you kidding me? So you're going to double what you've done in an Ironman 70.3, which is 3.8 kilometers of swimming, 180 kilometers of cycling, and then a full marathon afterwards. That's insane. But to push and say that I'm going to do that and tell you that I'm going to do it in Germany, that's going to be special. My final continent, I'm going to do an impossible race. Now, it's not impossible. There are people who have done it out there. But for me, that seems... Really? That's insane. But it's going to be so special. And hopefully that just leads into a beautiful wrap-up of what my 20s are. The 20s that you envision should be yours. Shouldn't be compared to anyone else's. Your 20s are going to look different than mine. And that's perfectly fine. I just know that when I turn into my 30s, I want to look back at my 20s and have no regrets. How graceful is this? Okay.